GearNetwork.com.
The following is a presentation of the Gear Radio Network.
So, Fatman.
Sleazy.
Oh, you sound wonderful. What's been going on with you?
I'm sleepy.
You're sleepy? I'm sleepy too. Fuck this shit. What the fuck? Are there two other people with us?
There's always other people with us.
Other than the voices inside your head.
Oh, Jesus.
You should hear what the voices inside my head are calling you.
I think I know the word. And we'll find out on the wrestling show. Welcome, everyone. This is Sleazy.
This is the Fat Man.
Welcome, everyone, to another wonderful episode. Today, we are joined by Monsignor Chip Willett.
Up.
You motherfucker wave on a podcast.
I'm not sure if we're live. I don't know.
Jesus fucking Christ. That's how this show's going to be, you guys. Okay. So we also have Ryan Williams. Wow, shit. Yeah, he's got me all fucked up now.
Hey, yo.
Jesus Christ. Waving on... What are you, fucking 2012 Fat Man? That's a good one. That's good.
Hi, Fat Man.
Fuck. So tonight we're going to talk about AEW's Double or Nothing. I'm hoping Fat Man has everything he needs for it. Meltzer ratings aren't out yet, I don't believe.
No, I got cans.
Okay. Good, because we'll probably talk about it next show, assuming Fat Man's actually here.
Which we'll discuss at the end of this one.
Yeah. But I just want to see how much Meltzer came. Let's just say that. Because you know he's going to call it the best show he's ever seen outside.
It wasn't in the Tokyo Dome. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So let's get right into it. Fat Man, take us away.
Anyone watch the pre-show?
Nope.
Yes.
I tried to, but my pay-per-view provider didn't. Like when I was on the pay-per-view channel, I guess because it's here in Canada, it didn't show the free half-an-hour pre-show.
Okay. Was it the NWA Women's title? Was it
Serena D versus Rio?
I heard it was a really good match. I didn't watch it, but Sleazy, Sleazy didn't watch it, but he came.
Almost certainly.
So the actual pay-per-view started with Adam Page versus Brian Cage. 12 minutes. Ken gave it 3 3/4 stars. Chip.
I would give it the same, if not 4. It was a really good match. Definitely back and forth was really good. I really got a chuckle when Brian Cage tried the buckshot lariat. That was kind of funny. But the right man went over.
Sleazy.
I liked the match. It was a great hot opener. I'm kind of... So, I have an issue with an F5 off the top. Not being a
fucking choco.
Yeah, not being a finish. But otherwise, it was hot. And I'm almost certainly going to be talking about this more, but it felt like... So, obviously WrestleMania had fans, but it didn't feel like a normal show. This show...
You only had a limited amount of fans in a humongous stadium.
Yeah. This felt like a normal show.
Yes, it did.
And I feel like a lot of people are going to overrate all these matches because it felt like the first normal show in a year. Plus. And Fat Man's jumping up and down like I just wrote that.
They did nothing that's never been seen before. And it was pretty much this very simplistic match. But the energy of the live crowd being back made this match come across way better than it probably should have been. I mean, I also gave it 3 3/4 stars. Probably a 3-star match with no crowd, but it was great to see fans back. It really was.
For sure.
And just how important fans are to a wrestling product.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Fully agreed.
Brian.
I think every match I'm going to review tonight is going to be something to, like, I enjoyed from top to bottom the entire paper. Little snippets here and there. But every match had something I thought was really fucking idiotic. And that F5 off the second rope for a 2 count. And then that 2 minutes fucking later, another F5 done by the other guy for a 2 count. Guys, what the fuck?
It's AEW. That's all you can say is AEW. Like, they do that shit all the time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Unfortunately.
For as little amount, you know what I'm like? I don't bitch about much. The tiniest of things I could play. No, not off the second rope. No, fucking roll. No.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about a lot of weird, questionable moves that weren't finishes this show, I'm pretty sure.
Like Sting taking off his shirt.
That is a finish for sure.
Okay, let's move on. AEW Tag Team Championships. Young Bucks defend against John Moxley and the king of the 2-star match, Eddie Kingston. Match went 21 minutes. Canton gave it 4 1/4. Ryan, you're the tag team wrestling enthusiast.
I enjoyed the fuck out of this match. I enjoy all 4 people in the match regardless. But I really enjoyed that. The little dig at the Shield, I was like, oh, you greasy. It's like, I don't know. I couldn't find anything that we hate on in this match, because if you were watching this match, it was the Young Bucks fight. You know what the Young Bucks are going to be like. It's Moxley doing his I'm a super indie guy, basically, and Eddie Kingston, who is, if Moxley is Batman, a super indie guy, Eddie Kingston is a fat Robin. Like,
Sleazy, you like Eddie Kingston.
I do. My biggest problem actually was Moxley out of all 4 of them.
You're wrong.
Fuck you. Let's just start with that. Fuck you.
Get the first one out early. That's good.
Moxley spent the vast majority of the match not selling shit.
I noticed that.
I thought I liked the match. I thought the Bucks once again went way overboard in terms of I have to do 15,000 moves again, but that's the Young Bucks. I was surprised they retained here. I thought they were going to drop it onto Moxley and Kingston, but I was wrong. It still was a pretty nice match. Once again, the finish. What the fuck? How many fucking knees to the face? Whatever the fuck they're called.
V4, and the first one looked great, and then the all 3 after looked like absolute fucking shit.
Yeah, they were garbage. I really didn't like the finish in that respect. You guys are a tag team that's used to doing high-flying shit. You did high-flying shit all throughout the match, and then you win with a couple of knees to the face? Okay.
They gotta copy Kenny Omega. Duh.
Yeah, well, stop sucking Kenny Omega's dick, and you probably get better ratings. That being said, it was still a pretty good match. It was enjoyable. 4 stars.
How many?
4.
We're running the same ballpark. I gave it 3 3/4. It started out good, drug in the middle, and then it picked up, and then the ending did kill it. Surprised Moxley took the pin and not Kingston. And this, because everyone knows I hated Eddie Kingston, I thought, and this is going to sound like I really do, but I really thought he was kind of sloppy in this match. I thought he could have done better, to be honest.
Oh, we'll talk about sloppy later.
Well, I know when you talk about the women's title, how many times you came. But
yeah, also.
It was still a really good match, and it was a little too long. And you're going to hear me say that a lot during this show.
Yeah,
and every AEW show, it was too long.
So runtime was what, about 4 hours for this?
3 hours, 56 minutes.
Yep, about 4 hours.
All right, Chip, talk about the match.
I gave it a 4 stars. I really did enjoy it. There were some things where I lulled, and that's where I think it went too far. But then the Young Bucks' normal moves were great to see, and then to see Eddie, I will give Eddie a good selling point though. He really sold the leg. I did enjoy how he was favoring that. But yeah, the ending was really confusing. I'm used to seeing a Meltzer driver or some kind of high flying combination, and they're just gonna BT trigger him to death. That made no sense at all. It reminded me kind of when Karrion Kross is a forearm and smashing Balor in the back of the head. I'm like, okay, you're a monster, and that's how you're gonna finish it? Okay.
Can I point out how funny it was that the Young Bucks put themselves into the death match on the card?
Yeah, I was going to say something to that effect.
No, they all go up and up and up here. There is no dead spots in AEW.
The Wild Zero booking. You gotta love it.
All right. Casino Battle Royal. Winner gets the number 1 contendership at the AEW World title. I'm not going to name everyone that's in it. 23 minutes, 20 seconds.
The key.
Kane gave it 3 1/4. It was a Battle Royal. 2 stars. I mean, Battle Royals are normally Battle Royals. You can't really do much with it. Pleasantly surprised that Jungle Boy won. I thought he deserved to win. Good to see, Omega just completely nerf him in 2 weeks, but hey, whatever. But, no, it was what it was. The right guy won, and yeah.
I wouldn't have had Christian as the other person in the final, too. I probably would have gave it to another young fella to make it seem more important. But that might have been a dig, because AEW, regardless of what they say, takes non-subtle and subtle digs at WWE all the time. That was a dig at Edge when the Rumble.
Yeah, it was. I'd agree with that.
I mean, I didn't see it that way, but now you mention it, I was just thinking, he eliminated Christian last. Christian's not really established in AEW, but he's a veteran and established wrestler that everyone knows. Eliminated him last, give Jungle Boy the rub, but now that you mention it, yeah, it makes sense, actually.
Also, another dig of the WWE was when Matt Hardy tried to team with him like they used to at times in WWE.
It wasn't a dig. It was more like trying to do a callback. But
okay.
It looks less diggy because of fucking when you think about Christian being in the final two. I'd count it to that.
So did everyone know who the wild card was going to be?
Not a clue.
No.
It's
Sleazy's favorite wrestler.
I did not know it was going to be Leo. I thought it was going to be someone else. But
Sleazy's
I'll tell you
favorite
what,
wrestler.
It was good to see an MCW guy get a little chance on AEW.
All right, Sleazy, talk shit about Leo Rush.
Fuck Leo Rush. Let's start with that.
Well, it's kind of cool because Del was actually at one of the local bars back in Baltimore because now they're open, and when his music hit and he came out, the whole place went nuts. So that was good to hear that he still had that following in Maryland.
Considering he's a New Japan star right now,
and the Triple X Cruiserweight Champion.
Yeah.
So, like, after he came out, so sorry to cut you off, but
No.
I'm not sorry because I'm going to keep talking. But after he came out, I realized, like, somebody said he was a New Japan guy, and he's a AAA champion. But he's connected to AEW 6 ways from Sunday.
Yeah.
Like, regardless of what avenue they wanted to go to, it was like, let's grab Leo Rush.
Yeah.
The reality is, of all the fucking people they could have brought in, they brought in Leo Rush? Sloppy ass fucking Leo Rush. How many fucking moves could he botch per minute?
At
I
least,
thought he actually looked pretty good.
no, he botched a lot.
What?
He
Were
rushed.
you actually
He was rushing.
watching him?
He was rushing. He was Leo rushing.
He was definitely Leo rushing. Slow the fuck down, dude. He was literally trying to get his 10-minute match in like 30 seconds. It was ridiculous. He was missing, like, the cutter he did was garbage.
No, the cutter was shit, yes.
he
I do
missed
agree with that.
But he fucked it up the first time. He should have been like, do something else.
Yeah.
Oh, no. You're committing to that, are you? Okay, well, here, hope you. Oh.
Yeah, it was just garbage. The battle royal itself had a couple of interesting spots. I liked Penta in it. I was surprised that Jungle Boy won. I actually thought they were going to dump it to Christian Cage. I really did. And not from the final two, but right in the beginning, because he started the match. So I'm glad they went with Jungle Boy, but Fat Man's absolutely right. It'll suck when he gets jobbed out to Omega.
Okay.
Everyone knows the person that's going to take that title off of him is
Adam Page.
Yeah, it's got to be Adam Page.
Boo.
Like, even the announcers during the Adam Page match says that it was Adam Page is the one that's probably going to do it, which leads me to believe that it's not going to happen. They're going to have a series of matches. It's not going to happen in the first match.
It's going to happen some random gimmick match that fucks up the outside interference, because he's going to lose by BT members coming out and Elite members coming out, and
He's going to lose by NWO interference.
pretty much,
And
yeah, pretty much.
And then get a gimmick match to win.
Yeah.
It's not AEW pay-per-view unless Cody Rhodes has a worse match. Cody Rhodes versus Anthony Ogogo?
Go.
10 minutes, 55 seconds. Ken gave it 2 1/4. What an overrating piece of fucking shit.
Agreed.
Yeah, it was bad.
1 star. My notes were, how did Ogogo get cut when he moved out of the way of Cody running at him?
Sir, that sounds like you're asking foolish questions. How dare you demand logic?
And then my notes went, it's a Cody Rhodes match, so it makes no sense. So then in theory, it makes sense that it makes no sense.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I think the wrong kid died.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Okay, so to touch
it's a Cody Rhodes match, so it's fucking garbage.
should have just stayed in WWE.
Here's the thing, and we discussed this before. But I remember I think it was either Travis, Ryan, maybe even Sleazy said it. I think it was Sleazy. They're going to be mid-carders in WWE, but now they're mid-carders in AEW that, book their own matches.
Yeah.
There's a reason why they don't book their matches in WWE. They don't know how. And Cody Rhodes is the 100% perfect example of, just because Dusty Rhodes is my dad doesn't mean the apple fell from the fucking tree, because guess what? You're terrible at booking matches. You have no sense of ring psychology at all. Unlike your fucking father.
Well, to be fair, I will throw this out there. It's hard to book yourself without being like overbearing on it. You know what I mean? Always doing 15,000 thousand extra things, aka every Young Bucks match. But just the way Cody Rhodes books himself is always this super long, super varied story inside the psychology of the match, and it just becomes this convoluted mess, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a great example of that. Now, obviously, Mr. Pandering, true American dream style. Holy shit. Could you put another flag on your gear, sir?
Put it on his ass.
I mean, holy shit. Match wasn't very good. It should have been a way to put over a brand new guy. And it just didn't work. It just simply didn't work.
Nope. Chip?
It was sloppy as fuck. I give it 1 star. I didn't enjoy it whatsoever. And I thought I was going to because it had a good concept, bringing in a boxer to go against a wrestler and try to get him over as a new competitor. Yeah, no, it was disgusting.
Well, if you're going to get him over as a new competitor, have him win.
Well, that's the saying. That's the idea when you see him coming in. That's
like,
what
I know he's really super green, but he's very green, and he probably should not have been he probably should not have been in there with Cody. Probably someone, but maybe he should have been because Cody's a vet. He's green, needs someone to walk him through a match, but I don't know. It just was bad.
It was very a lot of questions in that one.
Ryan, your comments are Cody should have just stayed in WWE.
Yeah, but 100%. Just the shit they're going to do. Go back to being Stardust. At least that's fucking entertaining.
He'd make more.
He would.
Okay.
Every person that left the mid card to go to AEW being the mid card are almost bricks.
I mean, yeah.
All right. AEW TNT Championship, Morrow versus Lance Archer, 9 minutes, 50 seconds. Ken gave it 3 stars. It was an okay match for a house show. Morrow looked dominant over a dominant opponent, so it did its job of making Morrow look like a monster. Match was fine. Miro, Morrow, Mario, Rusev, fucking Lana's fuck buddy. It don't matter. I can call him George. His new name is now George.
I accept Rusev over Mero. I was like, who the fuck is Mero?
He's George
like
now.
You ordered Rusev.
He's Mark
ordered Mero off Wish.
His name is now George. So George looked dominant over a dominant opponent. So at least that had to go. It was fine. It wasn't bad. It wasn't great. It was just there.
Question for the Peanut Gallery. Who was the heel again?
George was the heel.
Anyone? Was it George? Or was it the man with Jake the Snake fucking Roberts in his corner, killing people?
That's how fucked up AEW is.
Exactly.
Lance Archer had Jake the Snake Roberts in his corner, and Miro,
George,
was the heel.
Exactly. What the fuck kind of the questionable booking decision who thought that was a good idea? I mean, seriously, it's an interesting match, but from a booking perspective, what the fuck are you doing here?
So it's on an AEW show unless we question heel and faces. It's
yeah. And of course, and the irony is that they fucking booed Miro because he threw Jake Snake out. That sounds weird. Jake Snake.
Really, I was begging for that to happen.
He launched a shit out of that too.
Yeah, he got some fucking hair on that fucker.
I would have been in that show. I'd be like, nope, I'm out. Screw it. Stakes loose. I'm gone.
all right. Now time for Sleazy's favorite match of the night. AEW Women's Championship. Hikaru Shida defends against Dr. Britt Baker. 17 minutes, 20 seconds. Ken gave it 4 stars. Before we do into this, we're going to do a Marry Fuck Kill between Shida, Baker, and Rebel. I already know Sleazy. Fuck, marry, Shida, kill everyone else.
No.
I think there's only really one correct answer here. I think Sleazy's going to be surprised at what I say. You marry Sheeta,
Yes.
you fuck Rebel, you kill Britt Baker.
Now, you fuck Brett Baker and you kill Rebel.
No.
I
like me a thick girl.
I know you do.
I've seen Rebels. Google Rebel nude. That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
Well, you and I both have worked with Rebel before.
Yes. And that too. You always fuck the person you think would be good in bed. And I think Rebel would be amazing in bed. I'm not saying Britt wouldn't, but
I'd swap Sheeta and Britt, actually. I'd marry Baker, and Sheeta just had to be murdered because I gotta fuck Rebel.
I think Fat Man's right here. And I'm not a huge fan of Rebel, but I'm not a huge fan of Britt either. And by default, you go with the crazier one, and I think it is Rebel.
Yeah,
I think you're right. That's
I'm always
surprising
right.
too.
Right.
I'm giving you props for being right on this one. Usually, I fight it. So
Just fucking take the compliment, dickhead.
all right, now let's talk about the match. Sleazy, you're the women's wrestling enthusiast.
19 stars. What are we doing? No, I'm kidding. Considering they've been building Britt Baker up since her injury forever. The fact that this match had so much pressure on it to be amazing, I think killed it. It wasn't very good. It was about, I would give it, well, let me put it this way. It wasn't very good considering the build-up. I give it 3 stars.
Okay, so it was a good match, but you were disappointed in it.
Yeah. Mainly because I don't really feel like they got on the same page. There were a lot of interesting spots in isolation, but it didn't really feel like they had something together.
Yeah, I did notice that too. A couple top rope spots where it seemed like they wanted to try something, but they both weren't on the same page of what they wanted to do.
Yeah. Yeah,
I get it. I get it.
But it wasn't a terrible match. It should have been this amazing coronation of Britt Baker after all the work she's done, and Hikaru being the one to bring her to that moment. It really didn't work. I like the fact that the fans chanted, "Thank you, Sheeta," afterwards, but it's like, yeah. Because she was over a year at that point.
Yep.
She won a year ago.
I'll finish it. I give it 3 3/4. This was another match where I thought it just went a hair too long, maybe trim a few minutes off of it. But other than that, I really liked it. Besides the fact that what I said is what Sleazy said. Well, I agree with Sleazy that just didn't seem like they're on the same page for most of the match. All right, Chip.
I gave it 3.5 stars. The correct person went over. There were a couple questionable ring chemistry situations where it just didn't flow as well as I wanted it to. But it wasn't the worst match of the night.
No, Brian.
Right kid won. It's the general consensus about everything. I don't know, boys. I'm with Sleazy. I'll say that it was a good match, but for all the hype that went into that match, and that's what we got. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a very shruggy match.
Yeah,
it
it wasn't fantastic. Britt Baker, I don't give a fuck what anybody says. She's one of the best, worst people in AEW because she is 100% hit or miss.
Mm-hmm. I'd agree.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Sting and Darby Allin versus Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky. 12 minutes, 30 seconds. Ken gave it 3.25. I give it 2 3/4. I thought it was a slightly above average match. The wrong kid died again. And I should have brought this up during the tag title match, but we're bringing it up here. The refereeing in these matches are super inconsistent. You had a couple spots where Aubrey Edwards didn't see a tag and the wrong person was legal, which was absolutely 100% the right thing she should have done. They overcorrected from earlier in the night during the Young Bucks match where the referee's just like, I just don't care. Do whatever you want. Like, it's like they just don't.
Give a fuck.
They pick and choose when they want to actually obey by the rules. Which is every wrestling company, but AEW's more blatant about it. If that's the right word, you know what I mean? Egregious. How about that? Egregious.
I think I know why that's the case. And it's mainly because of who they hired for refs. You had Rick Knox, who was a PWG guy. You have Aubrey Edwards, which I don't even remember where she's from.
Shimmer.
MCW.
Is she Shimmer and MCW?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Then you have Bryce Rensburg, who's obviously from Chikara. Mm-hmm. And these promotions were vastly different on how they managed a match from a wrestling.
That's not the point. Now you're all in one company.
Yeah, I agree. They need to get together on the same page. Ha ha ha.
Okay.
To get that stuff buttoned down. If you're going to run the match as if it was tags are a little bit more iffy, or title matches are a little bit more.
You can say the tag title's on the line. The ref's a little bit more lenient.
Yeah, but be consistent about that.
Fine, but it's still stupid.
Get your refs together and have a consistent thing.
Yes.
It doesn't matter what the consistent thing is. It needs to be consistent, and it isn't.
Right.
Okay? That's all.
Yeah. Ryan, you're the tag team wrestling enthusiast.
Do I have to?
Yep.
Don't make me. Like,
Do it.
Shit on Sting, sir.
why? Y'all shit on it perfectly enough. I don't need to dumb me right down and lower myself to that level.
Bro, you're Canadian. You're already lower.
Wow.
It don't matter. It don't matter.
Aren't I higher? That's a double entendre.
Aha! Wait till next week, sir. You and me are competing.
Are we?
I'll get to that at the end of the show. Yeah, like, I mean, Sting looked okay in it. I mean, he was taking bumps and doing some shit like he was doing, like...
To be fair, he's in his 60s.
Yeah, I'm saying he looked decent in it. Like, he was taking some bumps and doing some shit, but that's why you're teaming with Darby Allin, to be that fucking bumping machine. You don't gotta do that. But if Sting wants to do it and he's healthy enough to do it, who am I to say fucking don't do it?
But he's fucking not. He's fucking 60. Like,
that's true.
Everybody got a bump clock. Stings ran out back in 2000.
Very true, sir. Very true.
I do like the stat I seen out Sting, though. He's one of the few people that have wrestled in 5 different decades.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Chip, what do you think of the match?
You all pretty much covered everything. I will say I did like seeing Darby Allin get launched into the first row by Ethan Page, though. That was hilarious.
Yeah.
He fucking chucked him like a frisbee.
I saw that, and then the first instinct I had was that was cool, and then the second instinct was Ethan Page is not big enough for that to be believable. Why the fuck did he do? Like, why was that a spot? Scorpio
Sky's not big enough to... Well, because Darby Allin wanted to get thrown onto his fucking family members. That's why. Like,
I suspend disbelief a lot in wrestling. So I know why the logical things. I just don't understand how you now got the book Page like a fucking monster. It's Darby Allin's Tony. Pitched fucking Darby Allin into the crowd like he was nothing.
Yeah, it was great.
That's your Miros. That's your Lance
George.
That's your Billy Gunn. Like, that's your guys that are over 3 apples fucking tall.
Yeah, Paige is about my height, and I'm about.
Is it really?
I'm about 6 foot.
So in
Wink.
6 months, Sleazy goes a viral video about him recreating this and throwing a little kid in a swimming pool.
Yes, that could happen.
Should happen.
I can make that happen, yo.
All right, Sleazy, you're good.
Yeah, I mean it's.
That means he's not good.
Yeah, I'm not. It'd just be rehashing what everyone said.
Okay.
Let's ignore Fat Man for a moment and go to this ad.
Three-way match for the AEW World Championship. Fuck Kenny Omega. Defends against Pac and Orange Cassidy. 27 minutes. Ken gave it 4 stars. Sleazy loves triple threat matches.
And I hated this one. Let's start with the finish. The fuck are we doing here?
Okay, so I'm going to cut you off because...
Jesus Christ, this is a fucking show where Sleazy gets cut off all day.
Yes, because I want to add something. They made Orange Cassidy look as good as possibly can as being a threat to Kenny Omega's title without actually winning the title.
Yeah.
And I'm going to praise AEW's booking on that. Not very much do we praise an AEW booking decision. I love that decision because we all knew coming in, Cassidy's taking that fall.
Mm-hmm.
And we all knew Omega was winning. There's no way he was going to lose. But they made me believe that Orange Cassidy was going to win that title.
I think since Orange Cassidy's come in, they booked him very well. Even in the Jericho stuff.
And they made me believe that he is a threat for the AEW title.
Agreed.
100% negative. AEW didn't make you believe anything. It was those fucking fans. Because like I said, that crowd was super hot for that. Had nothing to do with terms of AEW booking. So don't go giving them credit when they don't need it.
No. I'm talking about the ending. The ending. No, the fans are pushing Cassidy. I'm talking about the way the ending was booked. Where, like, he almost got a couple fluke pins on Omega. And then, you had Don Callis interfere because Orange Cassidy almost had Omega pinned or Pac pinned or whatever. So they made that decision helped. Yes, no, Orange Cassidy's mad fucking over. Fuck Travis, by the way, for saying that no one buys Orange Cassidy because guess what?
5,000 people just proved you wrong.
And 100,000 probably watched the pay-per-view?
100.
And me and Sleazy, who have worked with Orange Cassidy before, already knew what is showing on TV now.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
So, like,
so
that's why I wanted to cut you off about how you didn't like the finish. I loved the finish. I hated the camera angle on the finish because you missed it.
Right.
I loved the finish. Because he didn't beat him with the one-winged angel. Omega got a fluke win on Orange Cassidy. That's why I loved it.
Okay. I don't want to say that wasn't a bad finish. My concern is before that.
Oh, the title belt shots.
The title belt shots don't do anything. And what are we doing with attacking referees? Really?
I didn't mind that spot either.
I hated that.
Because the Pac had Cassidy and the Brutalizer. Omega couldn't get him out of it.
Bullshit.
I know. You got to spend disbelief. Come on, Ryan. You just said it.
Yeah, yes. And the disbelief was somebody stomping on somebody's head. And it's like his fingers won't play. At first I was like, he's kicking him and he's not breaking it. And then I looked at Travis, because Travis was here when we were watching it, and I was like, that's different. He attacked the ref because Pac couldn't be kicked to loosen his grip. That's fucking, that's dumb. like stomping his fingers. Well, I poked. You're telling me he physically couldn't have broke that pinfall?
There's other ways to do it. You're sounding like me now. There's other ways to do it. I didn't mind the spot. I didn't think it was the best spot they could have done, but I didn't mind it. It was different. So it made a heel Kenny Omega more heel. I'm praising Kenny Omega. What the fuck's wrong with me tonight?
And you're not even high yet. Oh.
That's Tylenol, you fucking Mark.
Tylenol PM.
Oh, so it's got a little better.
Oh shit!
But no.
After that, buddy, you are going.
No, but no. Like I think I just didn't see a problem with it. Well, I keep telling. I gave it 3 3/4. Like I thought the match was great, but again, there's flaws in it. But
shit? I gave it 4 1/4. And I'm bitching about it more than you. The fuck? I thought the rest of the match was really good considering it was a triple threat match.
It was too long.
Yeah.
It could have shaved 10 minutes off this. Another thing, just because you have longer matches doesn't make the match better.
Yeah.
Agreed.
You can have a great 17-minute match or a really good 27-minute match, depending on who's in there.
3 feds with 4 total doses. Book that spot for Pac to eat every one of those he'll never hold.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I didn't hear you. What was that?
Okay, but Omega's a champion in 3 companies, and he has 4 title belts. So you got to make sure he hits Pac in the head with every one of the belts he'll never hold.
Oh, no, that was stupid. I hated that. I get the line Pac get eliminated somehow, but again, other ways around that. So hit him with a 1-winged angel and have Cassie break it up. Like there's other ways around it. That way you would have hit Pac with the 1-winged angel, but not hit Cassie, and Cassie would have got pinned.
You still could do the flash pin. Yeah.
Yeah, and then that way it makes Cassie kind of look even stronger because he couldn't beat Pac with a 1-winged angel, but he compete, but he couldn't hit the 1-winged angel on Cassidy. So yeah. But no, I just think Orange Cassidy was the star of the match. He came out looking like $1 million in this match.
I would 100% agree with that. It elevated Orange Cassidy to superstardom in AEW. There was a tweet just before the show that Bryce Rensburg had said, and he was talking about how I think it was like 10 years ago he was going to a show with Orange Cassidy in upstate New York because he went to UPW's Upstate 8 tournament. And he was talking about how, you know, that was the beginning of Orange Cassidy as a real primetime player. And now he's in the main event of a title match in a major company. And it was just amazing to go on that journey with him. And I just thought it was nice to put over Rochester. Because, you know, I'm a mark for Rochester.
Yep. Chip and Ron, you want to add anything to the match?
I gave it 4 stars. I thought it was good. It was good to see Pac get a little exposure as well. But yeah, Kenny Omega's got to lose something. I mean, it's just it's starting to get fully stale with everyone who is a member of that company having the belt for a long period of time. I know right now only ones that have it are the Young Bucks and Kenny, but for the longest time you had the TNT title on Cody, and Jericho had a share of the title as well. So it's just need to sit there and push different talent because it's starting to turn into WCW.
Starting to turn in?
Well, evolving more into.
I saw a tweet about this show, and they were saying it's like I thought the show was really good, but man, they got to stop focusing on the EVPs because this show should have been called EVP or nothing.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
So, one more match, quote unquote. The Stadium Stampede match, Inner Circle versus Pinnacle.
Can we touch on something before? Because it happened between the two matches.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I literally had a fucking note in here, too. Tony Schiavone enters the ring, and Sleazy's favorite threat to win is now in AEW.
Yes! Mark Henry's here!
I
I popped too.
Yeah, me too.
Shit popped. It was one of the only things Michelle had seen before I ended up watching it. So, spoiler, I watched this literally Monday night to Tuesday morning at 2 a.m.
I started it at 10:30 Monday night. I finished it 3 o'clock this afternoon.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I just had so much shit to do in the morning. I stayed up till like 12:30, 1 o'clock, and then I'm like, I've still got 3 matches left.
Yeah.
I watched it live, and then I fell asleep during the last 3 matches, so I watched the last 3 matches last night.
And
It was so fucking long.
yeah, it's 4 hours.
Well, anyway, well, again, last match, same Stampede match, Inner Circle versus Pinnacle. If the Inner Circle lost, they had to disband. 31 minutes and 30 seconds. Canton gave it 3.5. I didn't rate it. It is what it was. The best parts were Jericho and MJF. I liked the Urban Meyer cameo. That's about it. The rest kind of sucked, to be honest. Like
Last year's was better.
last year's was better.
Last year's was better, but Sammy Guevara winning, I think, was the better finish compared to last. You know what I mean?
Yes,
I agree with that. Yeah, I get on with that.
Yep. But it was what it was. Again, too long.
Way too long.
You could have cut another 10 to 15. Yes, it was a cinematic match, but you could have cut another 10 minutes off of this.
There's too many people to cut that much off of it. I will agree that.
And the funny thing is, and the funny thing is about that is, fucking Revival and fucking Santana Ortiz were barely in it. They had one scene together where there was a Conan cameo.
Yep.
He was DJ.
And that was it. Like, they were in it for 3 minutes. So even at 31 minutes, some may argue it was too short. I just thought it was too long.
I think the barroom brawl,
For what the action that they did, it was too long. They could have cut out one of those fucking Hager fucking Wardlow fucking segments. Too much.
Yeah.
The Sean Spears Guevara handcuffing.
Sean Spears the chair in room.
I mean, it was what it was. I mean, I never got bored watching it, and I thought it was somewhat entertaining, but it just wasn't. It was meh. Okay, Chip, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're fine. I enjoyed last year's Barroom Brawl a lot better than this one. And there were actually people in this one. But I think last year's Bar Brawl with Adam Page and Kenny Omega was better. My thing is, and I'm probably going to get shit on by all you for this, and I really don't give 2 flying fucks. That's why I do what I do.
That's your opinion. Don't give a fuck when we care in you. I love you.
Mark.
I feel that MJF is much better as a solo than running a stable because I have a disconnect on it big time.
Why would you say that? Why would you say we shit on that? You're 100% right, though.
Because I'm normally wrong. That's why.
You are absolutely
his
right.
character is a loner character who's better than anyone else. He shouldn't be ahead of a stable at all. Another terrible booking decision by AEW to put him with other people. Like, you're 100% right on that.
I think it took 8 years for actually for everyone to agree with me on something nice.
I felt like I think this was more than anything a coronation of Sammy Guevara.
Yeah, I agree.
I really do believe that the person that looked the best was Sammy. The person that should get the most rub out of this was Sammy. And I feel like that having him take win the match for them was the absolute best idea.
Yep. Mm-hmm. I agree. Ryan.
And I know it's funny, it was done in the ring too. I kind of like that.
Yeah.
I think
was
with
just about to say that it was the first cinematic match that I've seen that started as a cinematic match and ended in front of a crowd. And I mean, not they took a break and then later on they came back. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah.
I think they had to do that. They had to have the finish in the ring. There's
Because the
like
fans.
Brian said, there's a live crowd.
Yeah.
I think you need to finish it in front of the live crowd, especially with the happy ending with the Guevara and everything. So
Yeah.
you had to do it. Ryan, you want to discuss the match, or you're just like, eh?
No, I love the match just because really, like I said, it wasn't as good as last year's, but the ending of this year's held more impact. And not that the faces won both years, but Inner Circle should have won last year. They should have. Like, it's the fact that the Inner Circle's still going, and then the bars after fucked off and broke up and they traded everybody else. Inner Circle should have won last year too. I think that's why this finish is better this year, because Sammy Guevara deserved it. Like Lee said, Sammy Guevara had a star-making performance, and like if Blood and Guts was his rise to the top, he's at the top now. But he needs to go beat Miro within the next month, capture that TNT title, and shove a fucking rocket to him and send him to the moon.
Yeah,
I agree.
They may wait till All Out to do that, but it doesn't matter. Or they may wait until they go back on the road next month in July to do it. But you're gonna have fans at Daly's Place anyway. I just think their big first show on the road was probably when they're gonna do it. I think. But no, yeah, and I agree with you. He's got to win the TNT title. Final thoughts on the show? Go ahead, Brian. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, I'm going to go back for a second. You're all right. MJF leading the pickle is fucking great. He's just as good now as any before, because now it's clear that he just paid people money. They're not friends. He paid these people to be around him, boss. That's why this fucking works. That's why they're the leader. Like, that's why he's perfect in this role. Just like Wardlow. He had Wardlow's paying her. It's like, I'll do it, a piece of shit. Now he's got all these people. These people don't technically need money in terms of how the rest of the world works and like how their gimmicks are and stuff like that, but they're all being paid to be with MJF. It's fucking free.
You're Canadian. You're wrong. I thought the show was actually really good. Besides, the Cody Rhodes match. So, and get butt again. It's an AEW show. Some of the booking's bad. Some of the booking makes sense. Some of the booking's great. Some of it's just meh, and it's too long. But I thought after their last pay-per-view, which I thought was their worst pay-per-view, they needed a pay-per-view like this, and they did deliver, I think. And the fans helped being back.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, fully agreed. Like I said, I mean, when I made the comment how I thought it was a really, really, really good pay-per-view, I went back and watched the last three matches again. And I'm like, okay, it was a really good pay-per-view. Maybe I wasn't right by saying how good I thought it was off the jump without re-examining a couple matches. But no, I definitely thought it was a better pay-per-view than the whatever the fuck that was they put on last time.
I consider this the best pay-per-view they put on in maybe a year.
Yes. Their best one was the first Double or Nothing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
This may be their second best one.
I would agree.
Agreed. Isn't this a WrestleMania?
Kinda.
Or
All Out. Or All Out.
I would consider All Out the WrestleMania and this their SummerSlam.
Yeah.
That would make sense because I was telling Kim because she never really watched AEW before, and I told her this is like either their WrestleMania or their SummerSlam.
You know, this one's the Royal Rumble. I say that with the logic of normally a Double or Nothing is the casino thing, so they have the Casino Battle Royale. So technically, this would be their Royal Rumble, but AEW finds the reason to have a Battle Royal every other fucking week. So Battle Royals aren't really special in AEW anymore.
Yeah, I agree.
True.
Yeah. Ryan, what did you think of the show?
Great. Outside the Cody Rhodes match, a Cody Rhodes match, and not that it was Cody and it made it bad. It was just typical Cody booking. I'm the top of the mid card, and I can't go any harder. I enjoy the pay-per-view.
All right. News and rumors?
Yeah. Bang this out.
Yeah. WWE released a ton of more people, including we missed last week's show, by the way, so we may be a little bit behind on news and rumors, but I'm going to try to bang this out real quick. They released Alexander Wolf, Ellsworth Judge, Skylar, I can't read shit. Skylar Story, Vanessa Bourne, Desmond Duke, Drake Younger, obviously, Jake Coleman, which is a referee, and Velveteen Dream.
Also, Ty Phillips got let go too.
Yeah.
I was getting there.
Well, you sound like you stopped at Velveteen
It
Dream.
did sound like you stopped it when you said
Well, I
that.
wanted to hear Sleazy say something, and then I was going to add on. Okay.
I don't.
He said nothing.
I,
Cool.
I was waiting for you to finish the list.
I mean, and Todd Phillips, they released N.N. Burke from commentary, who was
Already?
god awful.
Yeah.
He was so bad. And I guess Jimmy Smith started last night on Raw. I did not watch Raw. I was at work on a rare Monday.
He was better than Burke. Way better.
I mean, I could be better than fucking Burke. A fucking mute can be better than Burke.
Even better? I could be better than Burke.
Yeah, so Velveteen Dream was a shock, but not.
I know the shit he's been through, and not a shock really to me.
Yeah. Like, I was like, because these accusations came over a year ago.
Yep.
And then now it's like, okay, now they're just getting around to releasing him. But
The Satin Nightmare coming to AEW.
I don't think so.
no.
I don't think so. I have a feeling that they released him not because of that, although it probably factored it in. But there's a reason why he was sitting out for a long time. And I am pretty sure there's going to be something else that comes out that hasn't been talked about. With
PEDs?
No.
What's that?
No.
Drugs?
No.
No.
Probably accusations of the sexual kind, I would assume.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought we already knew that, though.
Well,
that
there's
was already
more.
talked about.
There's
More
been,
accusations.
yeah, I think there was more.
Oh. Got it.
And here's the reason why I don't think AEW is going to touch him, because Sleazy, you did hear about the comments that that Spanish announcer AEW made about Sheeta, right?
Yep.
And Tony Khan got so pissed that he immediately fired him.
Yep.
So he ain't going to sign.
It's not tolerated there.
And Sheeta even came out with a statement saying, she goes, I don't give a shit what other people say about my race because I love it and I'm proud of my race. I don't feel anger at all about it, which is probably the diplomatic thing to say.
She took the high road when
Yep.
she probably...
She didn't have to.
Yeah, she probably wouldn't have had
But at the same time, the guy got fired, so what else?
Yeah. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
It's very clear it wasn't tolerated, and that's it.
Yeah. There's a new lawsuit against WWE and Sleazy. This is very, very, very into the technical thing.
Okay.
It alleges patent infringement, and it's weird. It has something to do about the streaming videos.
Okay.
Okay, WWE streams videos using a network of servers. WWE uses dynamic adaptive streaming over HTTP and or HTTP live streaming protocols to stream video content. MPEG and HLS are HTTP based adaptive bitrate service streaming technologies that enable high quality streaming for media content over the internet from web browsers. The operation of MPEG- and HLS are described in standard documents. With MPEG- and HLS, a video may be broken up into thousands of small HTTP-based file segments. Each segment contains a small interval of playback time of the video. The segments are encoded at a variety of different bit rates After a video is selected to be streamed, the media player on the subscriber device is provided with a file that informs the player, amongst other things, how to obtain the segments sequentially and how to handle ad breaks, if any. As a video is playing, the subscriber device determines the bit rate that it can handle and requests a segment or segments encoded at that bit rate. The player plays the segments in sequential order and continuously requests segments until the player has received all the segment that makes up the video. I guess they're alleging that WWE, the MPEG Dash and the HTTP are the same, but they're not. I don't.
It sounds like it's a. So basically, what's going on when you are watching WWE Network, and I'm going to try and
dumb it down.
I didn't want to say dumb it down, but yeah,
Dumb it down.
Dumb it down. Basically, at any point when you're watching WWE Network, you're getting pieces of that pay-per-view, okay? And the actual streaming on this side, your device's side, is requesting different pieces of it depending on what bit rate, how fast your internet is. That's what's going on there. And apparently that's proprietary technology and it's held by patents. I don't know who actually owns the patent, whether or not it's actually a legitimate patent to be infringed upon in the first place, whether or not the patent actually is legitimate. And I don't honestly know why other people aren't being sued, because the same technology exists within MLB.TV, because that's where they were originally hosted.
Yeah, I know. I don't. When I read it, I was just like, I don't understand why there's a lawsuit against this.
It's probably a patent troll, honestly. Somebody
right.
who, so this happens a lot more frequently nowadays, is that a lawyer or a company of lawyers will buy a bunch of patents on all sorts of different technologies and then start sending cease and desist letters and lawsuit letters to anybody and everybody that's using the technology. A good example is when somebody had patented, some sort of random way of like PayPal or something, sending money through a website to another website. You can't really patent that, but some lawyer bought the patent to it and is now like suing everybody. Because everybody does that. Facebook, PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, everybody does that. And what they do is they send the lawsuit and then request the settlement immediately, because it's a lot cheaper to pay off the settlement than to actually go to court.
Okay, gotcha.
And that's probably what's happening here too.
Okay. Molly Holly is reportedly trying out for a WWE producer role.
Cool.
Mikey Whipwreck is no longer taking up public appearances due to health issues. I have no clue what those issues are, though.
He's been having some health issues for a while now.
A former ECW guy having health issues? No, say it ain't so.
I think his last booked appearance was Excite.
Maybe, I don't know.
Well, it was definitely his last booked match. He worked stock.
You know how much we absolutely loved the Zombie Lumberjack match, right?
Yeah.
Apparently, WWE got over $1 million for the sponsorship to do that.
When you did it, this is stupid. Undertaker's an undead wizard. Go to fuck. It's great.
No, it was absolutely stupid, but WWE did it for a reason, and we all knew it was because of money. But yeah, it was dumb.
I would book the match for $1 million. Thank you very much.
Yep. Vince McMahon issues an edict requiring all talent to report to the performance center for workouts in preparation to go on the road again. A lot of talent are actually liking this because they feel like their timing is a bit off, because they're only working 1 or 2 nights a week instead of every night. So they're trying to get the ring rust off.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. You know how WWE moved NXT to Tuesdays because of NHL?
Yeah.
Well, AEW is moving Dynamite to TBS because of the NHL. Turner bought the rights to broadcast NHL for next season, for next several seasons, to be on TNT. So Wednesday Night Hockey is moving to TNT, which means TBS will now be the new home of Dynamite in later this year or early 2022.
On the same night and time?
As far as I know, they're keeping Wednesdays, but I'm not. I don't know.
I mean, I'm not sure how much of a Venn diagram that is with hockey fans and wrestling fans, but there's at least
You got three on this show right now.
Right, but one's Canadian and two are weird, so.
Wait, hockey is just embedded into me being Canadian, boys. You know what I mean? Like, skatey punchy.
Sleazy's gonna love this. WWE is working on trying to sign Speedball Mike Bailey.
Yes! Yes! Finally. They're trying to clear up
back
his
in the
visa
States.
Yeah, they're trying to clear up his visa issues, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. WWE and New Japan are having discussions about being potential partners.
I talked about this the other night watching AEW. And the only general consensus I can think of is this is WWE's way of starting NXT Japan.
You could be right.
Yeah.
I like it.
You could 100% be right. I do feel that obviously they will have New Japan talent on WWE TV and WWE talent on New Japan TV. I really do think that will happen, but I think you're right to where they can start doing that stuff. So
It's more of like everybody's outside trying to work together with everybody anyways. But even when you look over at NXT UK and how that all went down, the UK feds that decided they were going to play ball with WWE got all the benefits of it. The UK feds that were like, fuck WWE, you barely hear from anymore.
like IWC and Progress.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So SummerSlam will be held on a Saturday, August 21st. Problem with that date is that it's the same night as the Manny Pacquiao Errol Spence fight in Vegas. SummerSlam is also rumored to be in Vegas.
Yeah, that ain't happening.
No, that won't happen.
That would be the stupidest thing in the world if they chose to run in Vegas the same night as a Manny Pacquiao fight. That would be ridiculously dumb.
Man, plus what are they going to do?
I agree.
You know Pacquiao's going to take the T-Mobile Center.
Okay, Ryan, rationalize that.
So the amount of people that go to Las Vegas and everything in the States opening up, you're going to be able to sell a bunch of tickets for Manny Pacquiao's fight, and you're going to be able to sell a bunch of tickets for SummerSlam. Because there's just going to be people in town anyways with everything opening up down there. Because you don't give a fuck about COVID. The States don't. Like Canada, we got 5,000 people in a giant stadium. We're like, we're doing great this one time. Down in the States, everybody's like orgies and hockey, wrestling, and concerts. Let's go. Like,
I think
you'll be open.
I see
you guys will be opened up. You know what I mean? Like, it's not going to hurt them.
I see your point, and I think WWE will, but they want to run the stadium. I don't think they're filling up that stadium. Either way.
Oh, the Raiders Stadium? No.
Allegiant, yeah, they want to do the Raiders Stadium, Allegiant Stadium. I don't think they're filling up that. If it's the same night as Pacquiao, they may sell those tickets dirt cheap for SummerSlam. Because the Pacquiao fight, you know they're going to go for tens of hundreds of thousands of dollars.
So is the Pacquiao fight going to be T-Mobile Center then?
Yes. Either T-Mobile or MGM Grand or something like that. One of those.
It has to be MGM Grand.
So
contract-wise.
Which leaves T-Mobile Center open for WWE.
no, they want to run stadium, not an arena. They want to run a stadium.
Yes.
Then I would not book it the same weekend because you're right. Pacquiao fight's going to trump it.
Speaking of SummerSlam, WWE is trying to target a celebrity guest host to get more interest in SummerSlam, and the host that's rumored, fucking Cardi B.
Whatever.
Oh, I saw that.
After the Bad Bunny shit for them boys, bring it on. Bad Bunny did good business for them and open up their own bars.
I mean, she's hot, but her music is terrible.
Get a bucket and a mop.
It matters to the people that listen to Cardi B and know who Cardi B is.
Yep.
Don't watch wrestling.
No, yeah, we all get behind it. We all know this, but I'm still gonna bitch about
Cardi B too.
One last
Cena host.
Cena's face and Reigns. We all know that. One last piece of information. I don't know if we talked about it on the show or not. Will Ospreay injured his neck. He had to vacate the IWGP title.
I don't remember talking about this because I called it the Universal title first.
In the chat. I think it was in the chat.
Oh, okay.
Dominion was supposed to be this coming Sunday. They moved it back a day to this coming Monday, the 7th. I was playing a little bit.
Dominion's going to watch it early. Fuck.
And the 7th is a little bit more important. I'm going to talk about in a few moments. And the main event for the vacant title is Okada, obviously, versus Shingo Takagi.
Okay.
And to be honest, I don't think Okada's walking out as champ. I think they're going to give it to Takagi.
Okay, just to touch on the Pacquiao fight, they have not secured a venue yet for it.
Okay.
And they only announced it like a couple of days ago, which is kind of surprising. So I wonder if that will change because I highly doubt WWE is planning on running on the same night as a boxing match, especially one as
in Vegas
and Manny Pacquiao, who hasn't boxed since 2019. So
what was the last fight against Mayweather? No.
no.
I don't know. I don't follow boxing.
Ricky Hatton?
I'm getting back into it.
What was it? I can't remember the last one he beat.
I don't care. Don't matter.
Well, people bitch about wrestling having too many titles, but boxing got 1,000.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That is true.
So I bring up June
Keith
7th,
Thurman.
which is the date of Dominion.
Keith Thurman, by the way.
And I've been kind of alluding about me getting high and possibly not even making next week's show. Next Monday, I will be having surgery on my elbow. So depending on how I feel, I may watch Dominion, I may not. And it may be on the show, I may not. It just depends on how I feel. I'm going to be pretty much immobile in my left side for about 3 weeks.
In other words, he's being a little bitch.
Yep, I'm being a bitch that needs surgery after finally figuring out what was wrong with me after 18 months. So,
is that why you got the pillow over there right now?
Yeah, my arm's killing me. So
he just.
I thought you were planning on falling asleep.
Your body is going to be numb. Are you trying to?
No, my arm's already numb. They're going to give me a lot
of
a
heart attack.
They're going to give me a lot of drugs. So we're going to see how Ryan will smoke some weed. I'll be on some Percocet. We'll see who gets high. The highest.
He's just pissed he can't do any more Chris Hero rolling elbows.
I'm right-handed, bitch. I can do them.
No, he can't. He couldn't do them with his right hand beforehand.
No, I couldn't. But yeah, so it may or may not be on the show next week. I'm assuming next week, if we have time to, we're covering Dominion. If not, we're just gonna do a what if or something.
Compete next week, fucker.
What?
Thought we were gonna compete next week.
Yeah, you're gonna win anyway. Your body's more tolerant than mine is.
That's fair. I do not work out at all. Just so you're clear.
What was that?
So everyone's clear.
What'd he say?
You're clear. I do not work out at all. Apparently, double curl and cheeseburgers doesn't matter in life.
If it was, then I'd be fucking fit as hell.
Yeah, so, and that's another thing, you know, my body's been, I've been trying to get healthy while eating right and stuff, and now my body's all like, you're trying to get healthy? Fuck off.
Fuck
Pretty much. That's what it seems like.
But,
to borrow a phrase, fuck ye.
yeah, so.
Excellent. Well, Chip, what is your social security address?
That is the Sports Guru 728.
Ryan?
1, 2, 3, 4.
That's your TIN number. I am at TWS Sleazy.
TWS Fat Man.
And the show is at Sleazy Fat Man on Twitter. You can find us on all sorts of social media at Facebook.com/Sleazy and the Fat Man. You can find us on Instagram at Sleazy and the Fat Man. You can also find us on thewrestlingshow.com and gearnetwork.com. And always, you can follow us on wherever you get your fun podcasts. Make sure you download, like, and subscribe to our show. That's pretty much it. So with thanks to Chip and thanks to Ryan and for Sleazy,
for the Fat Man,
this is The Wrestling Show. Thank you guys so much for listening. Peace.
I'm a truth that you seem to run from. I'm an army of one. I'm a clip in your gun. I'm the pain in the game. The blood shedding your name. When there's nothing to gain, all the world gone sad.
The preceding presentation has been brought to you by the Gear Network.